things to cover. All right, please. I will appreciate everybody if we can just let me know if it is not clear, because it's even though we are trying to cover things on time, just let me know. So we'll continue from where we stopped yesterday, but today we'll be looking at something. I'll just quickly show you a short presentation. I said we'll be looking at join today. Please, I need confirmation if we can see my screen. Hello?
Yes,
Yes, we
I
can.
can.
All right. Okay, good. So we'll just quickly rush through this join, you know. Then we'll go to the practical section, then now talk about the classwork I sent yesterday. So we are in the joint class now. So now SQL join and subqueries. We mentioned subquery yesterday. We talk about how we can actually use it to reference a particular queries. Like you will nest them, and you will treat that nested queries as a table. That's just what it is. So join also does that by combining two or more tables together. But there's something people I've been seeing people talking about, that they can be used interchangeably. So I'm trying to make that clarification here. So yes, it can they be used alternatively? Why subquery and joint both retrieve data from multiple tables? They are not always interchangeable because they serve different purposes, and this is it. Subqueries are used to retrieve data that you want to use as a value and as a condition. Yes, within a single query. So, and they are often used by filtering, calculation, and other to confirm if something exists or not. But join is a way of combining multiple tables, using the rows to connect them together and to create a new set of results. And it is used when you need data from multiple tables. We are going to see exactly that. So in some cases, you can achieve similar results using each subquery or join, but the choice between them depends on what you are trying to achieve. So in the general public, use subquery when you need to retrieve a single value. Now, they are repeating it again, a single value, and perform a conditional check. But join is when you want to combine multiple tables together to get out something. So the choice between subquery should be based on readability, performance, and desired outcome of your SQL query. So I will just quickly talk about the join now. So a join clause is used to combine rows from two or more tables based on a related column, a column that are very similar between those tables. You will be able to use it to connect them. And there are different type of join. There are actually more than this, but these are the ones that are very predisposed to us. We have the inner join, we have the left join, the right join, and the full join. So this is how it actually looks like. Their representation. The inner join is just like a subset set. It returns record that matches values in both tables. Yes. The left join, which is mostly being used, as a data analyst, you use left join most often, particularly if you are dealing with a table. There are two tables, which means that one is fact table, the shaded one is the fact table, and the other table, let's say, is a dimension table. These terms you should be very familiar with it. Let's say we are trying to retrieve some information from an original information that we already have. Let's say we are using a tracking number to track some transaction, and we want to retrieve their name. The dimension table, we have their names. It's not something we update every time, except we want to enroll new person or new customer. So this is why we have it. But I'm going to be more be more forthcoming. I'll show you a real example. Then right join is just opposite of left join, just it, and full outer join is everything. Now inner join is one of the, we rarely use it, but in some cases when we're having fat tables, sometimes people will say, it's not possible now to have. Yes, you can have a fact table, especially when you are trying to create a consolidation. Maybe you are doing some analysis that involve, um, let's say you are trying to compare. Maybe the databases are not, they are different, but what they are doing is almost similar. So you can use inner join to figure out what is common between the two. Remember, they are both fact table. So if you're building any modeling around that, be sure that you are directly building something called snowflakes. You get. So that is for the inner one, and this is the query, the syntax. I mean, so then don't always, anytime you want to use join, don't just type join, or don't just type inner. No, it will give you the result. It will return you a result, but it's a very wrong result. Please, let's take note of this. Now, left join. Now, let me just quickly rush you through left join and show you something. Now, left join is a left join keyword returns all record from a left table. That is the table here. And the matching record from the right table, from this guy. And the result is 0 record from the right side if there is no match. Yes. If there is no match between them and you, indicates left join. And here is the syntax too. And this is the representation of how it's going to look like. Now let me pause there, because what I'm going to show you, we give you a more explanation on, a better explanation also on what I meant, what I'm talking about. Now I have it illustration here, and this illustration will help us particularly to understand what we mean, what we meant. Now this is join. Now anytime you see the on, these guys, it means that those columns are the same. They have the same thing in there. So it means that the column in table 1, there will be a column, particularly an ID, that you can use to connect them together. So this is the same thing here. This is the same thing here. We assume that, oh, this is a table. Let's call this a transaction table. This is a transaction table. And this is another table called profit table. So anytime we want to join them together, what is common among, these are the headers, the column headers, and these are the column headers. What is common between the two is the product ID. Let me give a very cool example to help us again. Anytime you go to a bank, maybe you're advised to open an account, the first thing they will do once you enter the banking hall is to direct you to the customer service representative. Now, at this point, they will conduct a standard KYC for you. Know your customer. They want to know you. Now, this is an example of know your customer. It's a dimension table. That is, have all your information, including your birth certificate and those things, your will bill. It's going to be a basic information about you. And at the end of the day, after you have filled it, they will now assign you a tracking number, a unique ID. Other people can be bearing the same name, so they might not use your name. Rather, they will use an ID. And each time they see those ID, it means that is you. That is what they will be calling you. Then this table, before you can now do any transaction. So This is the transaction profile, your profile. This is the account that you always you do. So one way or the other, they will try to make sure that anytime we want to get a comprehensive information from you, they will try to link your activity to your real profile. And that is one of the things BVN does. BVN is just an ID that connects different accounts you open in different database. It's just like this product ID, your BVN, yes. So that from there, any SQL specialist can, a database specialist or administrator can actually write a query to retrieve information, your past. That's why some fintech can easily give you loan and know that okay, they can easily track you because this information linked to other your BVN. So this is how it connect them, and this is what the join means. Now let me go to this. Let me be very now under this product ID now. What it capture now is this. We are still dealing with the same table. Now, this is still the table, but on the product ID, let's say these are the data within the product ID, and these are the data in the product ID in product profile, and this is for transaction. Anytime you are asked to find inner join, what is common between them is just this. This one I highlighted, and that is what this one is talking about. So it means that information here, you can see the matches 60, 60, 61, 61, 62, 61, and leaving all these guys and leaving all these guys. So any information on the same row that has this will be returned, will show. But anytime you are dealing with a left join, which is what we use, then we know that this is the major thing we are focusing on. So we now want to link it with these guys. So it will now be like this. So this is an inner join, meaning that okay, 57 is not here, 56 is not here, 88 is not here, but we know that 59 is there, 60 is there, 61. That's why it's connecting to this part and leaving this one alone. This is left join. So this is how it will return it. So all information that has this product ID will return. And as a result of that, you will see how this thing works. It's just by the time we write this thing, this is how it's going to look like. So let me minimize this and go to our what's in the Postgres. Now, let me open from our database, Datakliq we'll be using. So this time around, I will be using, let me see. Okay, product table, customer table. Do we have transaction table here? I need to be very sure. Okay, let me just use another one. I'm not sure I have for a bit for clarity's sake. Hold on. Let me see. All right, perfect. This is okay. Now let's just use this to explain. So I'll create my script here. Sorry, for the public. Create script. All right, yes. It's just a way of confirming if I have those things. Now, we are still talking about join. So join is what we are looking want to explore. So remember we said it involves two or more tables by combining them together. Excuse me. By combining them together. So yeah, in the table here, because I was looking at each database table in database, so I'm trying to see one of the things we can use. Now we have transaction. We have transaction table. I think the view one is even better, but don't worry. We have transaction, but let me just leave it this way. Let me work on the table. Now, transaction, let me write a comment. Transaction table, transaction table. And what is in that transaction table? Let's understand it better first. So let's run it. Now, if you are to if you're a data analyst, like you keep going, and or let's say a data analyst or a business, I mean a data engineer or a business analyst, if you are focusing on a large, your work is a fast paced. So most of the time you'll be encouraged to build your transaction, your fact table as simple as this. This is just 7 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 columns, yes. So this enables us to understand, okay, this is how we record it, but everything is tracked, is tracked effectively. Now, this is the transaction table. Now, if you look at it here, you will see we have the normal serial number, the order date, the date the order took place, the transaction ID. Now, every transaction, there is always an ID that we use to track it. The customer ID, now that's the unique identity of the customer. So we don't just use their name, because if somebody is bearing Michael, we can actually have 10,000 or let's say 500 Michael within our database. So we'll not know which one is which. So it's always better we use the unique ID, and that will be very unique. Then the product they are buying to have an ID too. So it will be different. The ID, because some products are manufactured in January, and not the same product, the same brand of product is also being manufactured, can be manufactured in May. So they are different actually. Their shelf life, who is in charge when this product is produced, and which line does it come from. Then the quantity supply, yes, we'll have to type down how many are they buying. Then if there will be any discount. So this is how we will know. So this is how we indicate it. And this effectively track what we need. That is for transaction. So another one here that we are trying to join them together with is, let's look at customer now. So it is named customer underscore profile. Like the bank example I used. So these are the information of customer that they first made from the KYC. So at the end, yeah, of course, it can be more than this, but we just limited it to this. This is the customer name. You can see the customer ID here. So the registration date, the state, and they can ask birth certificate, next of kin, well bill, and some other information. So this is where it comes to, where they will update it. So once we have something like this, now based on the requirements, they can say, okay, um, I want to develop a task. So they'll say, okay, is there a way? Can you tell us or show us the names of our customer and their state where they come from. So this, we can just say, okay, we want to just have a look. The major thing we are focusing on as far as we're concerned is this guy, the transaction table. But now, if we run the transaction table, it doesn't have their name. And it's a smart way of doing that. But it has something that we can use to trace it. That is the customer ID. So customer profile has customer ID. Every activity has an ID. Product has ID. Even this transaction has ID. So what we do is to use join, left join now. You now say, okay, once you have something like this, please careful, watch this. You will say, okay, left join this guy, customer profile. Now, it's always better. I briefly talked about alias yesterday. Using something to, instead of writing the full name, you can always use alias. So like the transaction, we can call it T or any letter that comes to your mind. And in customer, you can call it T. You just type the letter in front of it. And of course, it will show you. So yeah, you will now type, you will see that what is next is on. Don't forget from this one, this is for inner join. And you can see the left join. On is the on operator is what connects, what column is are you using them to connect to each other. So this is what I do. I'll say, okay, I know it's the customer ID. Customer ID equals to customer ID. Now, this customer ID is from T, is from the transaction. You can see is here. And this another customer ID is also from the cost is from another table. This table we are trying to connect together. That is the customer profile. See. So it's better we indicate where they come from. So this will be T dot. So that is more of like a surname, just like a family name. So I'm the son of transaction, customer ID is boasting and is introducing himself or herself to us. And this guy too, say, yeah, I'm son of daughter of customer profile. So he's so proud to put his surname in front of it. So that is what it means. So this is it. Then if we now run it, let's first of all run all this. But I think it will be too much. So let's try to limit it. There is another thing called limit, is to give us the top something. So let's limit it to 100 record so that we don't waste much of our time. So yeah, you can see now the good thing here is that you will see that there is a new addition. Yes, the customer ID from our guy, the serial number. This is where customer profile started because it has now been joined. Now, this is the customer name. This is the registration date. This is the states where they come from. You can see the name has popped up. Oh, we are doing well. But now, we are not done yet because the question is just the focus is only on customers and their state. Show us together with. Now, I can decide to say, I want to show everything, but from transaction. So I can say T dot. Oh, we know that it's focusing on this guy. So by the time I run it, it will still show me the normal transaction table without including those ones. So that T dot is very important. It's the surname to know that, oh, show me all my father, people stay in my father's house. That is what to show. Now, you can now press comma and say, okay, the customer name, right? If you look at it, let me see how it is saved. Sometimes customer underscore name state. Good. So we'll now say, we will not type C. We'll not type T. It will be C dot customer underscore name. and c.state. So by the time we run this, it will now include the customer name and the state. Very, very, very easy. So you can see how we state where they come from the select statement. So that is join. That is left join. No, some of them have information. They will come out multiple times because they are coming back to buy it. So all we just need to do is to write a single unique ID that will tell information about it. So this is what the left join is all about. But the moment you just say, okay, like what most people does, they will just say inner join. It will show a record, but it will not be the same, and it's not going to be correct. You can see it's still showing record, and it's showing this that inner join. Somebody will just say inner join is fine, or some will just even use join alone. Join is not assumed to be left join or even inner join. So you should be able to know when to use these things. Left join, inner join. But the outer join is to when you are trying to bring in everything outer join, whether it matches or not. Everybody come. So that is the idea around it. So, but I want you to master the left join a lot. It's what is mostly used, but right join is just this. It's exact opposite of left join. Like the one we are bringing in, we show all the information will come up. So if we are trying to do some reverse engineering analytics like that, so that is where right join will have its own play. But don't let me stress you further from beyond this. So this is what left join is all about. Now the learning continues. You continue from there. You practice it. Look at your W3 school to enable you to know what we are talking about. Now, let me just let me just leave this to get. So I hope this part is clear before I move to there are many things you could have learned actually, but time is not on our side. So let's just move straight to the what we are dealing with yesterday. So let's expand this. So this is it. So I'm creating a new script now. So that one is gone. So I just left it. It's still there anyway, but you can see I just leave it. So now control all delete. So I'm going to bring in where we stopped yesterday. We are dealing with international bureaus. So that's our focus. So now I don't know if we try this thing out. It's quite very easy. It's very, very easy because today our focus is actually to try some problems. You can see the moment you can do this, then be sure that you can handle a simple profit analysis. You can include it on your profile. SQL to handle profit analysis, it's cool. So it's one of my this is one of my old this thing. I got it from Tiva, and it's a very cool stuff, especially if you are just trying to learn SQL. Now, I don't know if if we have tried to lay our hands on this. It's quite very easy. I'll just do few of it and we can move on. So we already have the data set here. Um, so international bureaus. Okay. So let's try to run it and see. I like to see it properly before we get it started. Okay, this is it. We did some tasks yesterday. So please, I will really appreciate you guys if you try it and you share your queries with me. You can save your queries. I've showed you how to do that. You will save it here, you will rename it if you are doing it for the first time. Okay, like this one is for the first time now. I can call it, I know it's going to be on my desktop now, so it's quite going to be very easy. I can call it my first SQL task. So you will know that, okay, this is it. And here we are, my first SQL task. And if I minimize it, it's already on my desktop. So once you write it, then you can share it. And we can have a look and do some correction and even add more to it. Now this is the table. I mean the data set. Sorry. Okay, let me just clear this guy. I think we are good with we are done with that one. I think we are done with this too. Okay. All right. So now the first question here, let me just read it. It's just a case, a simple case problem. It said from international bureau's data recorded for a duration of 3 years. You are directed to do this following analysis to aid better decision making in order to maximize profit and reduce loss to the lowest minimum. So in every organization, this is every organization's goal. Maximize profit and reduce loss or reduce operational cost. So if you are tailoring all your projects along with this, then you cut people's attention, you cut potential employee attention that, oh, this guy share our objective. So how is it going to help us? This is what that will be on their mind. Now, the first question here said, within the space of the last 3 years, what was the profit worth of the bureaus, inclusive of Anglophone and Francophone territories? Now, what I will do is you can just copy this. Then I'll just paste it here. Now, it said within the space of the last 3 years, of course, the entire thing is 3 years. And how do you even do that? I think I showed you guys yesterday. I said, okay, select distinct will give you a unique value, not repeated value. For the years, now we are dealing with the years now. So that is the focus. So we will just type yes. Right. So it will show us the total year we have, 2019, 2017, just 3 years. So good. So now it said, what was the profit worth of the bureaus, inclusive of Anglophone and Francophone territories? Now, somebody, when a data analyst is given a task like such as this, we can just say, you will just say just say sum of and type profit. Because profit is there already. It's in the what's the name? There is a column for profit in there. So we just do profit and say, sorry, not profits, as uh, profit. Somebody would do like, it would do something like this, right? To give us a single value. It will look well. Yes, that's just it. But that's still not it. As a data analyst, you should be able to have a better understanding of what they are even trying to, look at. Since they mentioned Anglophone and Francophone, so there is a need for us to find a way to explore the totality of what we got here in that order, so that we can have something like Anglophone is equals to so dollars. Then Francophone, we made this so profit. Something like that makes a lot of sense. Now, if you look at this, you will see that we have we have some countries, but let's look at it once again to be sure of what we have. So we use the same method we used to look for this thing. So these things, and in bracket, no, countries. Now it will return all the countries involved. Oh, Niger, Benin, Senegal, Ghana, and Togo. Now we know that even though we know that Anglophones are these English-speaking countries, but you can browse about it. You don't need to wrap it up your brain. But all these Benin, Senegal, and Togo, they are all Francophone. They speak French. So that means that we can do it in such a way that we can create something like a case we used yesterday to indicate that, oh, anywhere you see Nigeria, know that we are talking about Anglophone. You get? So this is it. So that anywhere we see Nigeria, Ghana, for example, Anglophone, Anglophone, Francophone, 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 Anglophone, something like that. So to do that, we can let me just change this back to our normal stuff. Now, we can now say, okay, case. That case and when is a very important this thing. So you say case, that is if and else statement. Don't forget, when country now is equals to Nigeria. We now say return Anglophone. So we will do the same thing again for Ghana. When countries is equals to, don't forget these quotes, because anytime you are using quotes, they are the data within the table. So it's very important. Ghana and return Anglophone also. Else, we don't need to type for the others. We know it's just two. Else, return Francophone. And we can now say enders. And I won't call it region. Let me call it oh, because we already have region here, so I want to look for another name, Francophone, country subcategory. Let me just use something like that. category. No. Then, comma. So let me bring this guy up. Now you will see that it will return everything, comma, all. So that means this column subcategory will be included now. So let's run it and see. So it will appear here now. You can see Anglophone, Anglophone, Francophone, Francophone. So it's a function of what we indicate. Now, to make it better, we can just say, okay, let's subquery it, subquerying is fine. I like to indent my work so that anytime I'm debugging, it will be easier, So now say from all this table now, because subcategory as will be behaving now as the original this thing, as if it's there already. So that is the essence. So let's call this one P for power. So we can now say select P dot. It's just a simple question, but sometimes it's always better. It is well represented, So we now say P dot sub underscore category and sum P dot profit as total. Let me call it total. Now, remember, since we are using an aggregate function here, then be sure that we are going to use the group by function. So you have to make sure the group by, let's say, okay, group by, we are grouping it with respect to the subcategory here. I just copied that one now. So, and that's it. Let's see what we are going to have. It's very straightforward. It can look somehow, but it's quite very easy. So this is how it's going to look like. Anglophones, this is what the total profit, then Francophone, and this is their total profit. So you can see it's something straightforward and it's not a big deal, trust me. So just make sure you always save your work. So okay, I'll be very quick. So let's go to the next one. And this is at least is better because there's a reference at which we indicate the region kind of. Now let's go to the next question. So it said compare. Remember we're on the profit analysis. We just need to be very fast. So it said compare the total profit between two territories in order for the territorial manager, Mr. Stone, made everything now. Made a strategic decision that will aid profit maximization in 2020. That will be the following year. So it said we should compare. We need to compare the profits between these two territories. Yeah, territory should have actually be a very good word rather than subcategory. So let's just copy this. So let's just copy this. So yeah, sorry, don't mind me on Control V. Okay. All right. So let me try to create more space below. Now we want to compare the profit now. You can see, thank God we have already positioned it this way. You understand? So by this way, it's easier now. It said compared to the total profit between the two and the total profit between the two. Let me use territory. Let me just change this one. So, or better still, let me just copy it there. So that is one beautiful thing about SQL. Once you write a query and you want to be reusing it, as a matter of fact, you can create a procedure. So that is if you'll be doing the same thing over time than you have to be alerting to execute it. No, that procedure will help you, and it's a very cool one. So let me just change this to territories. So territories is way better. I just rename it. It's nothing. I didn't do anything serious here. Now, so since we want to compare the two this thing. Now, there is something we have to there's something we need to do. Now, because I have a feeling that we want to compare it on the basis of year. And you can see the reason why they said so that they can maximize profit at 2020. So this part is very important. We can't just leave it like this. So it means first thing, if you will be doing anything like that, I would advise you leverage on Excel. And I want to just show you something. So now let's say Anglophone in Francophone. So now we want to do something like this is 2017 profit. Let me see if it will read it. 1819. Good. So this is what we want to achieve. We want to design so that as comparing it, the total will still give us we're still going to get the total, this total we are still going to get, but um, on the basis of splitting like this. So that is why sometimes if you to enable you to communicate better to the stakeholder you are presenting this to, it's always better you put it in a way they can see it better. So that is one of the key things as a data analyst. You should be able to um, add something that you will know that, okay, let me put it this way. Let me storytell it better in this picture. So that is another important thing. And I know we have done much of that in our Power BI class. So now in this, we know this is 2017 profit. Now, how can we now indicate that, oh, what we are looking for here is a function of 2017? Now, the thing is, since we have something like this, we can't use everything here. So let me just, we can extract it from here and see and say, okay, Anglophone, so that we can indicate that, okay, one will be 2017, one will be 2018, one will be 2019. So let me just copy this now. It's very straightforward, just a picture of it. So now we have to do something smart here. Now we can see where we are not actually we want to indicate now. We already have Anglophone. Okay. Let me see. Okay, sorry. I will need everything. So let's just copy everything here. And we'll start editing. Now, so what we are going to do is simple. So we are just going to make sure that, okay, let me just make sure everything here appears. I'll remove this group by. So now we have the Anglophone, everything is now being factored. Now we can now do something. It's still going to be like the case. So we can say, okay, we'll create 3 columns that we have 2017 profit, 2018 profit, 2019 profit together with the ones we have. So that will be, we'll just say, okay, let's say, okay, case, and use case when yes now is equals to 2017. Remember, it's not a number. Let me just change it, put it in quote. 17 return return the profit. And that is the profit. And else, let me just say else. Then I will start again. I'll start the same thing again. Else. No, okay, we need to indicate else. Show 0. End as 2017 underscore profit. Profit. That is profit for 2017. Then I will do this one again, comma. I'll just repeat the same thing again. So this will be 18. Control V. Then this will be 19. Now let's now look at how it's going to show us. So we have P. So let's just be sure that return P dot. P dot. P dot. So let's run it. Oh, let me see. Okay. Oh, I think it's the case. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to avoid using multiple subquery and their condition, figure it out. Okay, let me just be doing it one at a time. Sorry. Let me do it one at a time. Okay. Okay, I felt is the number we use here. I want to be sure of something. Okay. I'm coming. Oh, it's when years is equals to 2017, that is in quotes, return P, else return 0. Okay. And as. Okay, let me just type something here. I'm not sure if that is it. I want to see if it is the data type. Oh, it's preventing us from using numbers as the headers. So that's what I just confirmed now. But okay, let me just do something. So I undo what I just did is I actually undo what I deleted just to understand what profits. Let me call it underscore. Okay. Underscore A, then enders profit underscore C. I just want to be sure. Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't pick this guy. So this is it. This is it. But um I want to find a way that can show us that okay, this is the profit. It's just that it's not it's not taking numbers and header. So we can tell that okay, how I wish this profit underscore the year so that we don't just assume, we don't just guess the nearest future that this. But anyway, it's fine. We can always do something like this and rename it later, things like that. So now once we have something like this is 2017, profit made in 2017, profit in 2018 and 2019. Now, it is now easier for us to just put it now, subquery it one last time. Good. So now, for somebody who might be wondering what's just happened here, is actually their profit. You understand? But we were able to partition it. This is the profit. like this one that is 36250. We'll look at the year. It falls under 2019. That is the latest. You can see 36250. So if anyone falls under 18, I know the next two one will falls under 2018. That is the profit. So we are just trying to arrange it. That is what we are trying to do here. These are the guys, and they will definitely be in 2018. You can see 2018. So it's something that we can, we can actually do. That is not just think out loud. You understand? So we can now subquery this one again for the second time. So let's go down. So Q, let me just add Q to it. Let me give Q as alias. So select. Now, to select now, we now want to group it by this territory. So we'll say Q dot, because Q now is the new name we are renaming it. Territories. Oh, sorry. So, comma. So that will be sum. We are not going to focus on the former profits. So that will be the new one we just created. Sum of profits and underscore A, and we can name it as let me see 2017. Okay, still indicating as profits 2017. I'm just then okay, let me first test it for okay, let me type everything. It doesn't matter. And the next one, sum profit underscore B as profit 2018 and sum profit underscore C as profit 2019. So we have done that now. Let's add Q to these guys. Why is it in this? This is actually from my end. Is I don't know. Oh, let me just leave this. I don't know what I've pressed on my this thing, but let me just leave this like this. It should still work. So we'll now say group by we are grouping it with respect to this guy. Group by this. So now let's see what is going to show us. So you can see this is the final result. This is what we are expected to show them. So on each the two territories, profit made in 2017, we can easily see and compare it to 18 and 19. You can see on Anglophone, I think it's dropping. Maybe I'm correct. And here also is also dropping. So we can already know what is coming next for 2020. So by addressing it this way, I think it's way better to just presenting it this way, from the table. So I did this thing on so that you can understand that sometimes they can just give you it. This is now. Maybe you should just, or sometimes how you can redress it so that they can understand what is going on. So this is just it. So let me use this opportunity to take questions in case we want to have question and we don't want to forget. Please, if you have any question, please put your hands in the way where I can see them. All right. Okay. I will not waste our time. All right, Mr. Jack. Okay, let me first okay, Mr. Jack Olang, you have the floor.
Oh, hello. You can hear me,
Yes.
right?
I can hear you,
Okay.
yes.
I have a simple question on the syntax, just to tidy up our syntax. I'm thinking, can we have on the condition clause, on the where clause, can we have multiple conditions? As I've actually tried to type it on the Q&A. I don't know if it can work. I'm just suggesting.
Sure. I think I get you. Okay, you're saying if we should use where now, especially to filter out the values. I don't know if that is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes, where can actually work, but just that it will filter out, and because we still need information of others, you get. So if we say, okay, where something is this, return that. Now, this let me share my screen. Okay, now if you look at this, after when I wanted to do it for the first time too, I was hoping, okay, where is the first one? Okay, this is it. Sorry. Okay, this is the first thing I did. So instead of me just doing this, I was now like, okay, why can't I say, okay, where the country is equals to Nigeria? But there is no way we can label it that, okay, this is what I'm actually referring to. You get? So it will be very easier if we use where, or we have a way of tagging it that, so anytime I'm using this condition, I'm actually referring to Nigeria. Anytime I'm using this condition, I'm actually referring to the year 2017 to the year 2018. But where we only filter, but conditional statement like case is to enable us to know that, okay, anytime you are seeing this, say hello. That is why they say condition. Where is the filter? So that's why the case here plays a very crucial role. When the country is equals, it's just English, is equals to Nigeria. Show me, indicate Anglophone. That means from the enders, this is the new column that will appear. And that's what appear. So, and like that. So any other one, anyone else show Francophone. Then it can be shortened anyway, but I just felt that it's a need for you to see how this thing plays out. I don't know if I've answered your question, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So where is for filtering? Why case is to set a conditional statement to more of identify based on what appears. All right. So please, next question. Next, Kosiso Doris. Please, you have the floor.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I have two questions. The first one is the data set we used for the join. I want
Yes,
to know if we have it or you just used it in making your explanation.
yes. You guys they have it, but um, okay, I will try to get it across to you. Is the last project
Okay,
is our last project we did in the last quarter. So it's just something I'll share to that group and you will
okay,
download just and you will have it. It's like 4 5 tables like that. So I
okay,
don't worry, I'll share it.
okay.
So
Then the second one, in this case statement, can I write it separately than writing it together? Because I got confused at some point. Like I was not understanding when you come and clean and put again and all this. So can we write it separately in order not to
um,
get confused?
see the okay. Oh, that's a very good question. Sometimes when we say, can't we be doing it separately? Like we say, okay, this is 2017. I feel that's what you're trying to say, right?
Yes,
Let's share my
yes, yes,
screen.
sir.
Now, um, like you might want to say, okay, can't we just pick these two, do it one place, then do another one, do it another place. That method is fine too, because at the end, you can now join them by summing it together, but is always achievable when the data set is small. It's
Okay,
achievable when the data set is very small. But when you're having a large data set, Excel can do, I mean, like this, Excel cannot accommodate large data set, something that you have to arrange. Now, in most cases, when you are having a lot of data, let's say a lot of tables and several columns, now you might want to say, okay, let me just do it one after the other and just extract it and something, do it. Now, if it is something you asked to be doing, it's going to take a lot of time. So in this case, what we just do is what we are just doing individually. This is the first individual one. You understand? So it's just
mm,
that we continue, we just do the same thing, we copy it, do the same thing over, over, like 2 or 3 times since we are dealing with this here. So the
okay,
cool thing here, why we always advise a single query is that if you now want to do it again, maybe there's another data of this, or we're having the same data structure, you can just use this, edit some things, and keep using it that way. So that's one of the benefits. So it is good anytime you want to be doing one after the other. Okay, this is 2017. You will go again, you write 2018 separately, 2019 separately, and you now look for a way to bring them together. It is always practical. It is practicable when you are dealing with a less not a less volume data set. Talking of, let's say if you are dealing with um 200,000, 500,000, those ones are less. But once you are dealing with 15 million data sets, you might not, it will be very difficult. It will be very, very difficult because to now begin to merge it and the process will take time. I've been that shoot, so I know. So this method, I know it might look confusing, It's just the same thing. Case when is 2017. Show me P dot profit and end as profit. That will be other. Just copy this, paste it in the next one, change it to 2018, copy, change it to 1990. Even if it is 10 years, just keep doing that.
Okay.
So it's just a way of doing things so that you won't have to be going back again to do it. And again, practice is very important. I mean, you don't have to cram this thing. Trust me. Just try to, okay. Because me too, I figure it out some times ago that we can be using double cases now if we want to recreate a table, and it's possible. And that's what just happened. I
Okay.
hope I make sense a little bit.
Yes, yes. Then please another question. In the case of
All right.
making a table,
Okay.
sometimes when like yesterday's subquery, then after everything, you said we can make that one is as a single table. I
Oh,
tried
okay.
making that table. I wasn't
Okay.
getting it.
Okay. You mean
I don't know.
creating views, right?
Before you talked about the view, the from and the brackets to create a table. That was what you first used.
Oh,
Then you now
okay.
talked
When we
about view.
Okay, you mean how we create all these tables?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
I was
is
finding it difficult. Should I
okay.
click on any place or just add the from?
Now to create a table is a very straightforward thing. Create table. Now,
Sorry, sir, not the first table. When you created that subquery yesterday, you said we
okay.
can make that as a separate table.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just okay. That's what I wanted to say there on. Okay.
Okay.
I was talking about somebody who a friend, somebody asked me this question yesterday that he doesn't like the idea around using subquery because the what's the name? It's getting the codes keep getting bigger, more complicated, and you will not know which one is which. And I understand. So, but I now say, okay, for now, there is a simpler method you can use. That is, for example, let's start with this. Let's say I want to do something like this, and I run it. Now it's showing me this. So I don't want these guys because now their job is done. They are now being seen as a table that has territory that is different from
Mhm.
this. So I can just say, okay, I can copy this guy out, copy it down, and create a table called view. Views are tables. And I say, okay, create views, and let's call it step one. And I'll now paste it Ctrl V. So if I run this one, if I run it, and oh, sorry, I didn't put as, sorry. If I run this, oh, create view. Oh, sorry. Now it will tell me successful, step one. So that in the main table here, I can now replace it with step one. I will just say from step one. So, for example, here, you will see that there's no or step one here. Okay, step one has already appeared here. You can see. Then I can easily say, okay, let me delete this guy. And put step one. So I don't need the bracket again. I don't know if this is what you
Yes. Yes.
explain. So this method is not always because it will involve you. Sorry. So sometimes it will involve you to do some stuff. Like now, if you run it, and they also be to run. You can see same thing, step one. So if you know that we recreate another query again, that is from here, you can also say, okay, select all this. Let me copy it again. And then I change it again here, and I replace it with this. And I'll call this one step two. So, and by the time I run it, now it will show me successful. I can refresh this guy so that step two can appear. You see? So instead of all this beautiful this thing, I can actually align this. Type step two. Let me call it Q. So by the time you now run it, you should be able to get the same thing. Am I communicating?
Yes,
But
sir.
the thing is, sometimes I know people don't like long queries, and if you are given you're asked to an aptitude test, or let's say an interview or so, to demonstrate that, oh, you understand this thing. Fine, you can create a view, but creating that view, the person might not actually see what you have done, or the query that leads you to using step two, because it might be very difficult for you to show the employer that, oh, step two is actually a table I created. Maybe you now describe it. But sometimes it's always better you leave it to let them see what led to this. And we don't only have views, we also have another one called materialized view. Materialized view is very powerful. And that one can actually accommodate a large file with ease and execute it with ease. But it cannot appear on any external device if you are trying to connect. So that's the only thing. But views can be seen. Views and table can only be seen. Let's say you want to connect it to your Power BI, you create a gateway or thereabouts. So that is what really happened. I don't know if I've answered a question.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, okay. The next person, Ifelma, please, you have the floor.
All right, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, my own queries as regards the error messages that I'm encountering trying to import the file.
Oh, Importing the file. Okay.
Yes.
So what is the message? What is it showing?
You show me invalid input syntax for type numeric plant cost.
Numeric. Maybe it's the data type. Definitely it's going to be the data type. But
Okay.
just what will happen is from our group chat so that I can see the screenshot and we can manage time. Share me the screenshot.
Okay, let
Then
me
we'll
share
discuss.
it.
Hello, can I say something, sir?
All right,
I
sir,
had
please.
I had similar issue, but when I use semicolon at the end, it was resolved.
Oh, semicolon.
That's at
Okay,
the end of the
just
query.
Yes.
well, I don't know.
It
Semicolon
still
is
didn't
just to
work. Oh.
indicate
To
them.
just indicate that the
But
syntax has ended. Let me share you the screenshot.
okay, just let's be doing that after this meeting. You get, well, you understand? Just share it on that platform. I'll be there to answer that question to know the cause.
Okay.
All right. So okay, Mr. Ben, please we need to be very fast. We have.
All right, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Please. Hello, Mr. Ben, you're audible. Oh, I think Mr. Ben is. All right, so let's just move on. Miss Caroline, Caroline, please, you have the floor. Let's be very fast.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm thinking that when we were extracting the years, for example, if we were using Excel, we would have accomplished that using the nested if. So my question is, do we have a scenario that that it's related to the nested if in Excel that we can use in SQL?
Okay, that's a very important question. But what I will say is that we know that Excel is you can easily use Microsoft Excel to manipulate and to easily draw out your stuff, you know. But in a situation whereby we have the data set involved as is beyond Excel grid. Excel grid is the maximum data Excel can take, like the volume, like count is 1,040,000 or something. So, and these days, working in a fast-paced environment, talking about having 5 million data sets in a day, and maybe you are working on monthly basis now, you are seeing something like like almost 30 million data sets. So at this point, Excel might not be advisable because Excel will not even be able to display it. So that is why it's better we have this knowledge of this option. But if the data set is lesser, and we view it, we see, oh, Excel will just solve all these things. We don't even need to go through that route of, but just for having a very large data set, that is why this method is very advisable. I don't know if I've answered the question, Ms. Caroline.
Okay, so you mean that we don't have a case that the nested if can be replicated in SQL?
No, case. I didn't get that. Sorry, please come again.
Okay, my question was, instead of doing a single case statement for each and every output that we want,
Okay. Yes.
can we have how do I call it, a condition or a function that can replicate the nested if that we use in Excel? Is that
Yes. In You can, of course, you can do that what we just did. You can actually do that effectively even in Microsoft Excel. Yes, we can use the if statement, the common if statement. You use the multiple if. They set a condition. Once you set the condition, if this is this, else, you will start again with your if, and like that. So it's just the same thing I did here in the use of case and then, so that if it doesn't meet this condition, it will pass through the next condition like that. So it's just going to look like this. Let me see if I can. Let me just see something. Let me just write something here. Like if you said if something, you fulfill this, you write this. If 2 is equals to 3, return. I'm just using this as an example. Yes. Else, I will type another if again. So I can always continue the same process. Another one, set the condition. You understand? So it will just keep going on, keep going on, keep going on until I'm exhausted with the constraints involved in writing that. I don't know if you get the point. So it is both applicable in SQL, and of course it's in Excel. It's just the multiple if, that is the function. But in SQL, it's also the same thing. Case and then you write it in multiple times. I believe that is the question you are asking, Ms. Caroline.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So
Okay.
if it is,
Thank you,
if I've
Mr.
not
Shira.
actually it here, thank you. Just let me know on the chat. We can discuss it.
Discord channel. If you have any question concerning your SQL, probably while you're trying out the assignment or anything, you can direct out questions to the Discord channel, because officially we have closed for cohort 3. Thanks everyone. We appreciate you for being with us on the journey, for joining with us since August.